Hi everyone, this is a video on lifespan changes on the decades of life by identifying each level of organization in which aging occurs. Okay, so before we begin, I want to say that there is very little information on the first decade, and there is no information on the second decade in the chapter 1. So I just kind of left that blank, so I'm sorry if I get points taken off of that. So here we go. In the first decade, the level of organizations that are present here are actually all of them. Subatomic particles, they accumulate to form atoms, and those atoms create molecules. Molecules create macromolecules, and the macromolecules are pretty much derived of molecules, which then lead to organelles. Those organelles function to create cells. They do work for the cell, pretty much. Cells accumulate to form layers of tissue, and those layers of tissue create organs that serve a different purpose in the body, like the heart, the stomach, the lungs, etc. Different organs work together to serve one bigger function, such as the digestive system. The digestive system would be like the stomach, the large intestine, small intestine, etc. You can go on. And then those organ systems all function together to create and keep alive an organism. In the third decade, that's when visible aging occurs. And by visible, we mean you can see a little bit of gray hairs is not consistent with everyone. Faint lines on skin, and you will get minor joint stiffening. At this decade of life, cells will have begun to age, and maybe a few die. And that's why that kind of happens with your gray hair and faint lines on skin. It's not really wrinkles yet, but you kind of have faint lines. An example would be a woman who's attempting to conceive over the age of 35 will see reduced chances of success because she is of advanced maternal age. And the oocyte cell, which is the cell in the ovary, I believe, becomes less effective with age. The level of organization that ages here are cells. In the fourth and fifth decade, hair fades and becomes gray or white. Skin begins to wrinkle. This is when wrinkling becomes more visible. Signs of elevated blood pressure that can potentially become hypertension, as well as high blood glucose or sugar that may become type 2 diabetes mellitus. Cells and tissue are the reason why these effects occur. When cells and tissues age, there is a decreased production in tissue proteins, collagen, causing the skin to stiffen, while a decrease in subcutaneous fat causes skin to wrinkle. And like I said, cells, when they start to die, they affect the tissue. And then the tissues, because of cell death, they become weak, they die too. And then tissues lead to the organs. That's what we'll get into here. In the sixth decade, hair becomes more gray or white, even more. Wrinkles become more severe, and the immune system weakens. And this is an important part about the sixth decade. And they must obtain more vaccinations. As you age, more of your cell tissues die, causing organs to suffer more through age, such as your spleen, which is an important part of your immune system, but some people can actually survive without the spleen. Tissues atrophy and organs shrink, becoming less useful. Like I said, tissues atrophy and organs shrink, becoming less useful. When your cells die, it affects your tissues, and then your tissues affect your organs. When organs continue to age, there are biochemical changes that speed up cellular aging, which is, since your cells are already dying, that's even worse for you, to be honest. A protein can build up in the brain and cause Alzheimer's disease. Metabolism slows, decreased production of enzymes and proteins. And by this time, metabolism is pretty much down the drain. It probably already started slowing within the fourth and fifth decade, but decreased production of enzymes and proteins. And finally, cells lose the ability to undergo cell division by losing the tips of chromosomes. And since they have begun dying by like the third or fourth and fifth decade, now they are losing the ability to reproduce and divide and conquer, per se. They can't really divide all that much, which now they can't create as much T cells, which fight viruses and infections, and immune cells. Thanks for listening. That was on lifespan.